A very warm welcome to all of you. Jai Hind and welcome to the daily current affairs and MCQ series. I believe that you all must be doing good. Okay, great. So let's get started. The first article that we are discussing today, that is concerning the Amar Jawan Jyoti, right, which is an eternally lit tribute at the India Gate until this point of time, which now has been merged with another eternally lit memorial or eternally lit light, right? So that is with the war memorial, this has been merged. So what becomes important from your exam perspective is, the historical perspective, the Amar Jawan Jyoti, India Gate, all of which are in news right now. So right now the Amar Jawan Jyoti, which was, underneath the India Gate in central Delhi, and it was established in the aftermath of the India-Pakistan War of 1971, which we successfully, assisted or helped East Pakistan liberate itself from the clutches of West Pakistan and become an independent nation. That is the creation of Bangladesh, right? So to commemorate that particular victory, it was installed or it was instilled at the India Gate in 1972, right? Then apart from that, when you talk about the key elements of the Amar Jawan Jyoti, so it has a marble plinth, and along with that, it has a cenotaph, which is basically a tomb to the unknown soldier whose martyrdom is being given a tribute to, right? Martyrdom of all the innumerable soldiers who have laid down their life for the country. This is a tribute, this is a respect which the country is paying to them through this eternally lit Amar Jawan Jyoti. Then apart from that, it also has an inverted L1A1 self-loading rifle with a bayonet on top of it, right? Which is, nothing but a soldier's war helmet, which entails or which tells that this is how we are describing the martyrdom, the ultimate sacrifice of that soldier whose helmet is placed at the top of it, right? So that is basically how there are the key elements in the Amar Jawan Jyoti, which has now been merged with the war memorial, right? चलिए, so जो जहां पे जगह खाली हुई है उस जगह पे क्या करने वाले हैं? What are we going to do here? The place which has been vacated underneath India Gate, at that place what the government has said that they are going to unveil or they are going to install a statue of a nationalist leader. Which is that nationalist leader? कौन से nationalist leader का statue यहाँ पे जो है install किया जाएगा in this particular place? Yes, please type in the comment section. हाँ जी, चलो, meanwhile you type it in the comment section. Let's move to the question now. हाँ जी, so which of the following statements is or are correct with respect to Amar Jawan Jyoti? First, it was placed at the All India War Memorial in 1972 after the liberation of Bangladesh. Second, before it was merged with the eternal flame at the National War Memorial, it used to be kept alive with the help of cylinders of the LPG or liquefied petroleum gas. Yes, exactly, Subhash Chandra Bose is what we are talking about here. Precisely. जी बिल्कुल, नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस, exactly, that is what is going to be done at this place that has been vacated. Okay, so we have some answers here. We have C, we have A. Great, right? So देखो, जो first statement is that certainly you have, the All India War Memorial, or you can say this is another name that is earlier India Gate was named, or earlier India Gate was known by the name of All India War Memorial, right? So certainly that is going to be correct. But as far as the second statement is concerned, that is incorrect. Why? Because from 1972, when it was installed beneath the India Gate, till the year 2006, it was the LPGs, but later it became the PNG or the piped natural gas. This change was made in 2006, and since then, you can say until this point of time, it was, yes, exactly, it was the piped natural gas that was used, right? It was PNG and it was not LPG. Right, so second statement will be incorrect, and hence your answer will be A for question number 1. Right, yes, exactly. So precisely that is the case here that we are discussing, that it was the PNG or the piped natural gas which replaced the LPGs that was done in the year 2006, right? Otherwise, that statement, if it had included PNG, then that would have been correct, right? Chaliye. So that is with respect to the first question and the first article. Let's move to the next article now. So the Agri Nutri Gardens, and this week was, observed, and as a part of, main structure was originally constructed by, certainly Lutyens Delhi is, as the central Delhi region is also called as Lutyens Delhi, as you have typed. Exactly. Chaliye. So coming to the next article, that is concerning the Agri Nutri Gardens which have been established and the details regarding it. So what exactly becomes important is that the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, the National Rural Livelihood Mission, because that is the overall program under whose ambit this particular step has been taken, right? This week was observed. So Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission, that is the DAYNRLM, they have observed the Agri Nutri Garden Week, right? What has been done precisely is that to promote the nutritional safeguards of the families and also to provide them an opportunity to enhance their income. कि अगर कोई extra production होती है तो उसको sale करके they can sell that production, that extra production in the market, and they can also make some money from that, right? So awareness campaigns were conducted to encourage establishment of Agri Nutri Gardens in the rural households particularly, right? And it is the mission's agenda, that is DAYNRLM's agenda, to support every rural poor household to have Agri Nutri Gardens, and through that to fulfill their family's nutritional needs, and any excess production can be sold for any income support, right? So that is how it is not only going to provide for the nutritional or on the health front, it is not only going to better their position on the health front, but also it is going to provide with some means of, you can say, financial benefits, right? So that is with regard to this article. Now let's take questions, and through that we are going to discuss the rest of the provisions. So question number 2 reads, which of the following statements is or are correct with respect to Agri Nutri Garden Week? First, it also aims to fulfill the nutritional needs of the below poverty families in all districts under the Aspirational Districts program. And second, it is also helping in promoting nutritional awareness, education and behavioral change in rural areas involving farm women and school children, harnessing traditional knowledge through the local recipe to overcome malnutrition. Yes, so what do you think should be the answer here? Okay, some are saying C, some are saying B, and some are saying D. Right. ठीक है. Look, when we discuss or when we look at the first statement, जो पहली statement है, that certainly, aspirational districts program as such is not related with the Agri Nutri Week. ठीक है, Agricultural Nutritional Week के साथ, Garden Week के साथ, there is no relation which the aspirational district program is having, right? So that is why the first statement will not be correct. The first statement will be false. Then the second statement, that it is not just catering to the nutritional needs but also nutritional awareness, along with that trying to induce some sort of behavioral changes in the rural population, including the rural women and the school children, right? And apart from that, देखो, इस traditional knowledge को harness करने का मतलब ये है that basically you are trying to enhance their nutrition, because certainly India is a very diverse country, and in such a diverse country you have very diverse and the areas which are very diverse, and that is why the nutritional needs of the population in all four corners of the country, they also depend upon what kind of climatic zone they are living in, right? So at some point, at some places, this traditional knowledge is certainly going to help the rural folks, right? So the second statement is absolutely fine. So our answer for question number 2 will be only 2, that is option B, right? I believe I am clear. Though all of you, those who marked answer as C, give me a confirmation quickly that We are clear on that front, right? जिन लोगों ने भी C mark किया था आंसर, certainly the aspiration district added their knowledge to their program, but as such they have not identified the districts on the basis of aspirational districts program, right? So that is where the first statement would be incorrect. Chaliye, great. So that is regarding the Nutri week. Let's now move to the question based on Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana. So which of the following statements is or are correct with respect to the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana? First, the scheme is integration of the NULM and the NRLM, that is National Urban Livelihoods Mission and the National Rural Livelihoods Mission. Second, it is intended at uplifting the urban poor folks by enhancing sustainable livelihood opportunities through skill development. And third, it was launched by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in 2015. So what do you think should be the answer to this question? Okay, great. So Rohit is saying C. हाँ जी, बाकी लोग? Okay, Kshitija says D and Rohit says C. Chaliye, great. So we have some answers here. Great. So look, when we talk about, see, it was renamed in 2015. It was not launched. It was renamed, but it was not launched in 2015, right? So you have to be clear on that front. And that is why the third statement will be incorrect. And apart from that, it is also not the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. It is also not the Health Ministry, and the year is also not 2015. Hence, outrightly statement 3 will be incorrect. But the point is that exactly if it was just renamed in 2015, and if it was not the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, then which ministry was there? Yes, exactly, Pranjal, that is true. ठीक है, तो देखो सबसे पहली बात तो ये है कि NRLM और NULM को मर्ज करके इंटीग्रेट करके एक सिंगल स्कीम DAY जो है क्रिएट कर दी थी. That is how the DAY got created. So first is absolutely fine. Second is also true that you are trying to, through the skill enhancement or the skill development of the urban poor folks, you are trying to impart them with some form of basic skill, and through that skill you are going to ensure that they are able to sustain by themselves, right? That is, their livelihood is able to, or they are able to generate their livelihood. So for question number 3, what should be the answer? 1 and 2, that is D, right? Yeah, exactly. It is the Ministry of, it is MORD, which had launched it way back in 2011, and later it got merged, right? So now you have these two components. That is, if we discuss about the two components, right? So one for urban India and the other for rural India, and that has been named as the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana. To be implemented, the urban component is being implemented by the Ministry of Housing and Poverty Alleviation, and the second, that is the rural component, by the MORD, that is the Ministry of Rural Development, for the rural component of the DAY, right? So those are the two components which are involved in this particular scheme, and that is where this is becoming important. क्यों? क्योंकि अभी रिसेंटली भी न्यूज में है, ठीक है? और इनके हिंदी नाम भी याद रखना, दैट इज ग्रामीण कौशल योजना, राइट? चलिए, ग्रेट. So let's move forward to the next article now. That is, India Sri Lanka extend science and tech cooperation for another 3 years. So as far as India and Sri Lanka are concerned, they are certainly increasing, or you can say relatively the pace is there with respect to the relations and the betterment of relations. Though the Rajapakshas are back at the helm of affairs, but still what becomes important from exam perspective is India Sri Lanka bilateral relations and the bilateral agreements that have happened recently. क्योंकि अभी इससे पहले भी पिछले हफ्ते, उससे पिछले महीने भी इंडिया श्रीलंका जो हैं, they were in the news with regard to the some of developmental projects. So the first thing is that the 5th meeting for the Joint Committee on Science and Technology that was conducted, right, science and tech cooperation, and regarding that we have extended the existing science and tech cooperation for 3 more years, right? So that is going to be till 2025. पहली चीज। दूसरी चीज कि जो नए एरियाज हैं, देयर हैव बीन सम न्यू एरियाज व्हिच हैव बीन एडेड नाउ टू दिस कोऑपरेशन बिटवीन इंडिया एंड श्रीलंका। फॉर एग्जांपल, इट इज लाइक वाटर, वेस्ट वाटर मैनेजमेंट टेक्नोलॉजीज, बायोटेक, सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर, एरोस्पेस इंजीनियरिंग, बिग डेटा एनालिटिक्स एंड आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस। ठीक है, तो ये कुछ नए एरियाज हैं, या कह लो कि ये कुछ एरियाज हैं जहां पे वी आर कोऑपरेटिंग विद आवर सदर्न नेबर दैट इज श्रीलंका। ये याद रखने क्यों जरूरी है, क्योंकि देयर कैन बी ए क्वेश्चन जहां पे हम यूपीएससी ये पूछ सकता है कि कौन कौन से एरियाज में इंडिया और श्रीलंका जो है दे आर कोऑपरेटिंग, राइट। सो यू शुड बी अवेयर, यू शुड बी acquainted, you should be aware of the basic areas जहां पे हम cooperate कर रहे हैं, या जहां पे हम relationship को आगे लेके जाने की बात कर रहे हैं as far as the science and tech domain and the cooperation on that front is concerned, right? Yes, exactly. Finances have been given, Pranjal. Certainly Sri Lanka, you know, it is going through economic turmoil, it is witnessing financial shortages, and that is why also it was in news. And apart from that, with respect to Trincomalee also it was in news, ठीक है, but वो चीजें हम discuss करेंगे through the question. So let's move to the question now. हाँ जी, which of the following statements is or are correct with respect to India and Sri Lanka relations? First, India has provided $500 million line of credit to Sri Lanka, apart from providing $900 million relief to the island nation facing one of its worst economic downturns. Second, initially reluctant about investing too much in Trincomalee project, India began pushing for the project only after China swung Hambantota in 2010. Yes, so what should be the answer here? China certainly is it is not going anywhere. It is the elephant in the room, and hence every time you have India-Sri Lanka relations, please bear in mind that what is the role which China is playing. Okay, Tanisha says A, and Rohit says C, Shubhankar says C, Chandrakant also C. चलो ठीक है, देखो पहली बात तो ये ध्यान में रखने वाली है that whenever you are reading something about Sri Lanka, that becomes important from mains perspective as well, because the Chinese are playing a dominant role as far as the affairs in Sri Lanka are concerned, right? Be it with respect to their ports, be it with respect to the development of artificial islands, or apart from that any other developmental projects, right? So the first statement, that is already we have given $900 million, and on top of that recently, only day before yesterday, this week itself, 500 million have another $500 million have been extended to Sri Lanka. क्यों? क्योंकि इकोनॉमिक क्रंच इतना ज्यादा है, फाइनेंशियल क्रंच इतना ज्यादा है कि ये लोग अपने फ्यूल के लिए भी पे नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. Yes, exactly. I would agree with that comment made by Tanisha that, you know, this is a debt trap policy or checkbook diplomacy. This is certainly how you can relate it with China. That is the debt trap which the Chinese, you know, they lay for the countries which they are providing any kind of assistance, and then they successfully trap that country. They try to, you know, use up the land, the sovereign territory of that country, right? Okay, so coming back to this, that is the second statement is also true, that initially we were not very much interested in developing the Trincomalee oil project, but since the Chinese, they have been increasing their presence, and that is something which has, you know, ये Chinese presence in Sri Lanka, that has been an ever increasing or ever growing phenomena since the past decade, you can say, and that is why India has off late also, or you can say it's good that at least off late we have realized that we need to do something as far as the Chinese presence in our own backyard is concerned. You cannot just let it go unnoticed, right? Or you cannot brush it under the carpet simply, right? So both these statements are true here. Hence for question number 4, your answer will absolutely be C. That is 1 and 2 both are correct, right? Chaliye. So that brings us to the last question for the day. Which of the following statements is or are incorrect regarding Yemen? First, Yemen is situated at the junction of Gulf of Aden and the Black Sea. Second, its coastline has a commanding view over the strategically located Strait of Bab al-Mandab. Yes. So please quickly mark your answers in the comment section. Yes, point taken, Tanisha Gupta. Absolutely, your point is taken. Okay, so some people are saying C, some are saying B. ठीक है, देखो यहाँ पे जब हम बात कर रहे हैं, look, first let's straight away move to the map itself. Look, when you talk about the location which Yemen is having, ठीक है, अभी conflict में चल रहा था Yemen, and that is why we are having this question. So you have the Gulf of Aden and you have the Red Sea. It is not the Black Sea. ठीक है, and since it is not the Black Sea, the first statement will stand to be false. That is, this statement here will be false because it is not the Black Sea. But yes, as far as the Bab al-Mandab Strait is concerned, that is obviously where the coastline of Yemen is having a commanding or a strategic view over it. So your answer will be the incorrect statement is only the first statement, that is not true. So your answer will be for question number 5A, right? But now you tell me, where is the Bab al-Mandab Strait? Certainly it is connecting Red Sea with the Gulf of Aden, this narrow stretch here. That is the Bab al-Mandab, right? But when we talk about, yes, so that they can control trade. But when we talk about the Strait of Hormuz, where is the Strait of Hormuz? Yes, कोई भी टाइप करके बता सकता है. If you want to type, and you can, although it is visible in this map itself, but still, right, here you have the Strait of Hormuz connecting this narrow stretch between Persian Gulf and the Arabian Sea, right? Yes, exactly. So these are the maps. You can take a look at these maps in the PDF as well, ठीक है, क्योंकि अभी recently it was in news. And with that we have come to an end of this session, right? चलिए, so with that, wishing you all, a great weekend, a learning weekend, and apart from that, rejuvenate and bounce back in the fresh week. So I'll see you then. Until then, stay safe, study well, Jai Hind, and bye bye.